Good afternoon, guys. My name is Eduardo Lopez, a student of license in teaching as a foreign language in the UNAD. And in this opportunity, I'm going to explain to you a couple of lesson plans for B1 students, adolescents, and A2 students, adults. Let's begin with the one for adolescents. This one, obviously, like I said, is for the B1 level. The learning strategy that we're going to be using is the cognitive and communication strategy. The topic is going to be verbs, and the objectives of this activity are to learn the meaning of some verbs, to provide written, speaking, listening, and reading practice of some verbs, and to demonstrate the use of some verbs in daily activities. I say some verbs because obviously we're not going to be using all the verbs that are going to be in the activity that I'm using for this lesson plan. Okay, well, the first thing that the teacher will have to do is to start with a warm-up activity in which he will be providing the students with a sheet of paper where they can see the list of verbs, and the students will have to create a word search in EducaPlay 2, choosing 5 verbs from this list that we have here. Once they have created the word search, they're going to pass it on to a classmate for that classmate to develop the word search. Some of the verbs that we have or that they might be able to use are throw, realize, believe, hear, walk, lead, blind, etc., etc. Okay, the resources that I used in this opportunity to create this lesson plan is a table for the regular verbs. I obviously got them from the internet, in which you can probably follow these links and see the same list that I found. The video that I'm going to use for this activity is a video related to a song. That song is Wonderwall. You can obviously go look into it in YouTube. I'm going to obviously leave the link here as well for you guys to follow it. The approximate time that the students are going to be taking for this activity is 10 minutes approximately. Here is an example of the word search. I created this one just to give you guys kind of like an example of what the word search would look like. And in presentation, the teacher will have to introduce the class by explaining the importance of the topic, in this case verbs, and presents the vocabulary for from the activity. Again, verbs. Here you have the resources, and the time estimated for this activity is 5 minutes. Well, kind of like to give you a heads up of what's a verb. The verbs are one of the 4 major word classes, along with nouns, adjectives, and adverbs. What's a verb? A verb refers to an action, event, or state. And here you have the same list that I already showed you before. In the practice section, we have four steps. In this case, for the development of the topic, we will use a singing time activity as the main activity. The activity will be divided in 4 steps, as I said, and in each one, students will practice the 4 skills, which are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Step 1, listening. Students watch the video Wonderwall. Here again is the link that you can follow. Step 2 is a writing activity. A sheet with the song will be provided to the students, which contains empty spaces, students then will need to fill them out with the corresponding missing verbs. So what they are going to have to do is just listen to the song, and as they listen to the song, fill out the missing words. Step 3 is a reading. Students will be able to practice their pronunciation and intonation with the lyrics from the song, singing the song obviously in the class. And step 4 is speaking. The students will practice their speaking as a group by singing the song and talking about it. Approximate time for this activity is 45 minutes. And in the production, then the whole idea of the activity is for students to learn vocabulary, some verbs, and possibly memorize the verbs, also practice their pronunciation. Here you have the resources again. It is well instructed, and you guys can follow any of the links, and will lead you to the same song. The material that we used for this activity as a whole is obviously the video of the song Wonderwall, a computer or any tablet that you may have, internet connection. Obviously you need this to be able to listen to the song or to watch it. Worksheets. In this case, the worksheets will be either provided by the teacher or sent to their email, in case this is kind of like an online activity. The board, if they are in the classrooms, markers, notebooks, and the list of verbs. As an assessment, we will have a test that is going to be held through an interactive activity that the teacher designed using the tool vocab test. Then students will have to use a computer to do the test following this link. This is what the test will look like. In this case, I already created the test and everything with the verbs and some phrasal verbs that I found, in which you obviously have to just follow the steps that you have here. Once you go into the test, you're going to find this. It's going to give you obviously the word and what probably it means. So you just gotta click on the right choice, or whatever choice you think is correct. Okay, now let's go on to the adult lesson plan. In this case, the level for the adults is going to be an A2. The learning strategy is the same, cognitive strategy or communication strategy. And in this case, we're going to use phrasal verbs. The objective of this activity, or the objectives of this activity, are to learn the meaning of some phrasal verbs, to provide written, speaking, listening, and reading practice of some phrasal verbs, to demonstrate the use of some phrasal verbs in a role play of daily activities. That's going to change. The warm-up activity in this case, after providing the students with a sheet where they can see the list of, in this case, phrasal verbs and adjectives. Remember that we're going to be talking about phrasal verbs. So for a phrasal, to create or to compose a phrasal verb, you need a verb and an adjective. Then students will take it in turns to match them in the following activity. Here I split them up, so you can tell me which one goes with which. The resources that I used for this activity is a video regarding phrasal verbs for daily activities or for daily routines. Here you have the link, and the approximate time for this activity is 5 minutes. As a presentation, the teacher is going to introduce the class by explaining the importance of the topic and present the vocabulary from the activity through flashcards. Here I have the whole list of phrasal verbs that we have. Well, not the whole list. I mean, I mixed some, so not to bore you guys with the whole list, but most of them are here. As a resource, here you have the links that you can follow to do the activities, and as well as the video for the phrasal verbs daily activity, and the approximate time for this activity is 10 minutes. Okay, so multi-word verbs are verbs which consist of a verb and one or two particles or prepositions. Example, up, over, in, or down. There are three types of multi-word verbs: phrasal verbs, prepositional verbs, and phrasal prepositional verbs. Sometimes the name phrasal verb is used to refer to all three types. Here you have well as the ones before, but here with some images. Sit down, stand up, pick up, wake up, take away, throw away, turn on, turn off, and grow up, which you guys already have already seen them before, and are pretty common, you know. As a practice activity, we're going to have the topic phrasal verbs. We will use a daily activity role play. This activity will be divided in 4 steps again, and in each one we will practice the 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The first step is listening. Students watch the video phrasal verbs for daily routines. Here again you have the link that you can follow to watch the video. Step 2, writing. A sheet will be provided to the students which contains sentences from the video where students will need to fill out the blank spaces with the phrasal verbs from the video. Just watch the video and complete the gaps, basically. Step 3, the reading. Students will be able to practice the pronunciation and intonation with the transcript from the video. And 4, speaking. Students will practice their speaking in groups of 2 using the different scenes from the video. You're not gonna have to do the whole video because it's a little bit long. You just I'm just going to give you guys the opportunity to choose one scene and act it out in front of the classmates, and then the teacher will walk around the classroom and check students' pronunciation, intonation, posture, and tone of voice. Here you have the resources that I used for this one, which is the video phrasal verbs for daily routines. And for this activity, we're practically going to be doing it in 45 minutes. The production of the class is a role play based on the video, which will be given to the students which will be divided in groups of 2 and will represent one of the scenes from the video. The explanation again of what I just told you. Here you have the video phrasal verbs for daily routines, again as a resource, the link that you can follow to do this activity. As materials, we have the video, the link, computer, tablets, internet, the worksheets, the board, markers, notebooks, and the list of phrasal verbs. And as an assessment, a test will be held, again through an interactive activity that the teacher designed using the tool vocab test. Then students will have to use a computer to do the test following this link as presented here. And this is what the test will look like. You have to just, click on the right answer or whatever you think is the right answer, and that's it. Okay guys, thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you in our next video. Thanks.